I decided, because I woke up sitting out in the open air, that I was probably dead. It was all quiet. There was no sound, and a voice came to me, and it said, "Wayne, you can't die. This isn't your time. Your mother needs you."
These are the frontline testimonies of a generation that came together to put their lives on the line to protect our freedoms. We owe it to them to always remember World War II.
I'm Wayne Daniels. I was the first pilot on the crew of a B-17 called the Thunderbird. I was in the 388th Bomb Group in the 3rd Division of the 8th Air Force. Netteshaw, England was our base. Assignment was to fly left wing on the lead airplane that would be leading a group of about 50 or 75 airplanes to try to throw the Luftwaffe off of where the real target was. We went on with the raid on the target, which was Ham, the marshalling yards for most traffic north-south in the Ruhr Valley. We were approaching the target at about 26,500 altitude. We were 15 seconds from bombs away by the bombardier, and they opened up on us, and the air was pocketed with close misses to the front of the formation. And I saw 3 flashes, 1, 2, 1 low, and then 1 hit us. And we bounded a little bit and settled down, and smoke started to accumulate in the cockpit. And we'd been hit underneath, just behind the cockpit, and the number 2 engine was part of the damage, and it was on fire. And the first thing that I remembered was I seen airplanes blow up, and they knocked down the nearest airplanes to them because they scattered debris all over the place. I immediately took the controls, and we had to put a lot of pressure on the wheel to make that turn. We were still turning the airplane. I saw that this situation was so bad, I couldn't read the instruments, and we ought to be safe enough from the other airplanes and safe enough for the crew to jump out, not jumping into the propellers of the following airplanes. I hit the bailout switch, and within the next minute, we blew up. And it was a bit of a surprise. And with the fire, the chances were that we had 3 casualties in the waist already from the fire. The ball turret, the waist gunner, and the tail gunner couldn't get out of the airplane because it was on fire back there. It was a great experience for me to first find out that I had parachutes above me, 5 parachutes, and that those were the people that had been able to escape the airplane. It came as a great surprise when I found out that they had all been fired out of the airplane like cannonballs by the explosion. I wasn't fired out by the explosion. The co-pilot near me was thrown out of the airplane, sitting in his seat, and he obviously had a grip on the steering wheel because he took it with him. I decided, because I woke up sitting out in the open air, that I was probably dead. It was all quiet, there was no sound, and I was getting ready to move on to the next phase, and a voice came to me and it said, "Wayne, you can't die. This isn't your time. Your mother needs you." The fire was getting so close in the cockpit, I looked back to see if there was anybody back there, and I got a third-degree burn on the right side of my face and set my hair on fire. So I brushed the hair a little bit to knock out the fire and said that, yeah, it's not going to work. I'm going to be out of here probably in about 10 or 15 minutes. The fire's going to take me. The voice came back. And the voice said, "Wayne, you can't die. Mother needs you." And I'm pretty sure that the warning that I got, it was from my brother, it's coming from the other side. I can tell you about the worst event of my childhood and a marker for the rest of my life. That was the death of my father, my brother, and my sister by drowning in the Illinois River. We were on a picnic on Labor Day in a park. We had a dog, and the dog was with the children. The children disappeared because the dog went after the ball. My dad was the first one to see that it's too quiet out there, and he jumped out of the car, and then he started hearing from the two of them, and he went without hesitation. He ran right down the bank and right into the Illinois River, and he got sucked down by the downdraft of the dam, which was right nearby, and he got a hold of them, and he couldn't handle it. I saw their faces, and that was it. And they didn't come back. They didn't come up. When I went back to the car and said, "Mom, I think they all drowned." The balance of the story on the jumping out was that the voice said, "I'll help you." And he didn't say anything else. And my hand was propelled down my right leg, and I found that the safety belt was across my ankles. I couldn't move. I unfastened the safety belt, and I started trying to get out of the airplane. And when my head appeared above the hole, which was actually in the belly where the airplane was hit by the explosive, I was out of there. Probably going about 150 miles an hour. I didn't have any headgear that had been blown off, and now the oxygen was becoming more critical, and I saw that pieces of the airplane ahead of me, and it was the tail section was pretty much intact. The horizontal stabilizer was right in front of me, so I pulled myself together as best I could, bounced off the horizontal stabilizer, and pulled my ripcord. And when I did that, the parachute opened, and I woke up to find that there was one panel missing in the parachute, and one was flapping up and down. Out of the 5 parachutes, one of them was descending near me. Now, the occupant of that parachute was the bombardier. I could recognize him, but he was either dead or unconscious like I had been. I heard a lot of noise, so I looked up through the hole in the parachute, and there were B-17s up there opening their bomb doors. And I watched the bombs falling out right over us. And I again tried to make myself into a small target. One bomb hit my chute, threw me sideways, and when I woke up to all that, the bombardier was gone. I saw a white dot on the top of the bombs, and that was probably him. I was told 3 weeks later when from the time I got into prison camp, my squadron commander, who was in the right seat of the lead airplane, said, "Daniels? Yeah, we have you killed in action." He and I talked a bit further, and he said, "I thought we were gone because the cockpit flashed red. Then I looked out and I saw your explosion and your airplane dismantled, breaking all up, and you were so far away that it, not a part, hit my airplane." He said, "Thank you, thank you. And I owe you my life." I had a feeling that I'm going to make it. I'm going to see this one through, and I've had that feeling my whole life. My dad went in and gave his life, so he's been my hero. I didn't want to let him down. Wanted to do what I could with my life, make an effort, and I'm still trying. And I think I've done a pretty good job. And I got my ticket all punched, and I think I'll see everybody on the other side, and it's going to be all right.
Please don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. These 3 things will help this channel continue to put out new videos every week. Please consider becoming a Patreon subscriber in order to help us fund travel to interview these incredible soldiers. And please reach out if you know any pro-veteran businesses that would be interested in sponsoring a video. And thank you for watching.